Uncle Dread? What? Uncle Gobb and the Dread Shed. Chapter 15. Ponky Boy. Once, when Malcolm was on television, the stunning, superb, beautiful, most celebritiest celebrity to have ever appeared on television said to Malcolm, "What is the capital city of Italy?" And Malcolm paused, thought, and then said, "Ponky." From that time on, everyone called him Ponky Boy. I'm going to guess now that you have two more questions. 1, why was Malcolm on television? 2, why did he say Ponky? I'm going to answer those questions. 1. No one has ever found out why Malcolm was on television. 1 minute he wasn't on television, then the next moment he was. It was probably something to do with the fact that the director of A Question of Questions turned to the helper on the programme and said, "Hey helper, we've got to find a kid for the next programme. Just get out there and find me a kid." And it so happens that the helper was Tessie's cousin, who was called Trinidad, and who was, believe it or not, that very evening seeing Tess and Malcolm. It may have had something to do with that, or not. Remember, in life, there are connections. That was quite a non-fiction important thing to say, so I'll say it again. Remember, in life, there are connections. 2. Why did he say Ponky? No one has ever found out why Malcolm said Ponky. 1 moment he wasn't saying Ponky, then the next moment he was. It was possibly something to do with the fact that at the very moment the celebrityest celebrity, who was called Russell, asked Malcolm, "What's the name of the capital of Italy?" Malcolm was thinking of that rhyme. Inky Pinky Ponky, the farmer bought a donkey. The donkey died, the farmer cried, Inky Pinky Ponky. Now, of course, this meant that he might have said any of the words from the rhyme. Inky, or Pinky, or the, or farmer, or bought, or a, or donkey. I don't need to go on, do I? But, and this is important, the whole point is that Malcolm had only got to the end of the first line of Inky Pinky Ponky. He was thinking Inky Pinky Ponky and hadn't got to thinking the farmer. So he said the first thing that came into his mind, which was Ponky. And the whole country, the whole world saw it. And how they laughed. How they loved the boy who said that the capital of Italy was Ponky. Look. Well, they didn't love him. They loved the fact that it wasn't them who'd said Ponky. It made everyone feel that they were cleverer than the boy who said Ponky. In fact, they weren't loving him. They were loving themselves. They all felt much better now than they felt in the moment just before he said Ponky. And Russell looked at the audience in the studio and he looked at the audience at home. Well, not really, he just looked at the camera and said, "Ponky, eh? Ponky. Never mind, Ponky. You got that one a bit wonky." And this became one of the most famous things that anyone ever said about anything. Yes, it's very famous when it says in Shakespeare, "to be or not to be." And it was very famous when Winston Churchill said that stuff about "never in the field of human conflict." But perhaps you don't remember that one. Or perhaps you do. How should I know? But much more famous, much more famous was when Russell, who had the loveliest teeth in the world, said, "Ponky, eh? Ponky, eh? Never mind, Ponky. You got that one a bit wonky." There are very thick, heavy books called things like Dictionary of Quotations or Dictionary of Famous Things that People Said Which Changed the World Forever. And if you look in books like that, you'll see that it says, "Russell, Ponky, eh? Ponky, eh? Never mind, Ponky. You got that one a bit wonky." However, I should say that in the Dictionary of Killer Answers it says, "Pinky, eh? Pinky, eh? Never mind that, Pinky. You got that one a bit stinky." No one knows why the Dictionary of Killer Answers has got it wrong. But if you find a copy, could you please do me a favour and write to them, telling them what it should be? They don't take any notice when I write to them, because they say that I don't cut my toenails quite often enough. Chapter 16. After the Beans. Malcolm finished his toast and beans. His mind wandered back to the classroom and the mystery of why it said Gobb Education on the bottom of the worksheet and on the bottom of the charts. "Uncle Gobb," said Malcolm. "Wrong!" shouted Uncle Gobb. I should tell you that Uncle Gobb was very ashamed of Malcolm. When he came home from the TV programme that day, Uncle Gobb was sitting with his head in his hands, sobbing. "Oh, for goodness sake, everyone in the whole world knows that the capital of Italy is Rome, but our little nincompoop says it's Ponky. That's the problem. Young people today don't know anything. They know nothing at all. All those facts, all that knowledge, and they know none of it. I've been to China." When Malcolm saw and heard the way Uncle Gobb was that day, that was the beginning of why he started to plot how to bamboozle and confusel him. Meanwhile, to try and get some facts and knowledge into Malcolm, Uncle Gobb worked out an interesting scheme. We will find out what this interesting scheme is in just a moment. We will be back with the baked beans and toast.